You don't need to be told these are pretty challenging economic times. Growth is slow, wages aren't pushing up like they should, the promised budget surplus is looking shaky, and on top of all that, the coronavirus is slowing down international travel, adding to government costs and stopping Chinese tourists and students coming to this country. Little wonder then that Reserve Bank Governor Phillip Lowe has confirmed today that this will cut our economic growth, probably by about 0.5% in our annual growth rate. But it was what he had to say on climate change that worried me. As the Governor said, it's not his job to decipher the science of global warming or even recommend the policy responses, but it is his job to consider any economic impacts. And he said climate change is already having an impact on our economy. Well, you only have to check your power bill to know that climate change policies are having an impact on our economy. But climate change itself? The economic implications are profound, Lowe said. The world is getting hotter and the climate is more variable. We're seeing already in Australia, perhaps more than anywhere else in the world, the effects of that. Now, he mentioned the drought. There's no doubt that hurts the economy, but as we've detailed here time and time again, the climate experts say that the drought cannot be directly linked to climate change. That is, there's no long-term drying trend. In other words, we can't distinguish this severe drought, which we all hope is coming to an end over coming months after recent rains, we can't distinguish it from earlier severe droughts. And he also mentioned, Phillip Lowe that is, also mentioned the bushfires. Again, while there's lots of rhetoric about these fires being unprecedented, all the data says otherwise. The worst fires are in New South Wales, to be sure, on record, but not the worst in the nation's history. And therefore, if we've had as bad or worse before, 10 years ago, 40 years ago, 100 years ago, it's very difficult to try to attribute the fires to climate change. But the Governor went on to say climate change is affecting the nature of production in Australia, the nature of investment, ultimately the nature of our exports. At the moment, I think it's affecting confidence of people and therefore ultimately spending, he said. Ain't that the truth? Uncertainty about climate policy inhibits investment. Our constant wrangling over climate policy is a real drag on the economy, and our constant global warming hysteria, complete with fear-mongering and fake news, certainly undermines consumer confidence and creates anxiety. There can't be another country in the world that wastes so much time and energy on climate change debates.